Hi, this is May. Welcome to Always Worshipper. This is my new creative space, and here I channel messages. Basically, that's what I do. I do readings in English and Spanish because I'm from Colombia and I speak Spanish too. Mm, I've been uploading videos for the past couple of months, and it's been great. I've learned a lot from tarot and spirituality, and I've been a little inactive lately because I've had lots of things to do lately, but I want to continue with exploring these messages that I can share for you guys. I thank you for your subscriptions, for your views and your likes. And you can also follow me on TikTok mainly. I have an Instagram account, but that's my personal account. All of them are Always Worshipper, and you can check me out there as well, okay? The last reading that I made in Spanish, I realized that I don't use my French tarot so often. So today I brought these two tarot decks. This one is Etela. It's a French tarot called Etela. I don't know if that's a French word. I don't know how to speak French, so that's how I'll pronounce it. This tarot deck is from the 1800s, more or less, and I love it. It's got many ways to interpret it, and as I was saying before, I don't use it much, so I'm going to use it tonight. And I just want to do tarot today. I feel like we can go deeper on the messages, so no oracle decks for this evening. And I'm going to use this is a Colombian tarot deck that I bought here. I really like the art of it. It's really beautiful. So yeah, this reading will be named of a channel message that I got in my last reading. There, I was doing a no contact reading, and the message that I got there was the purest love. So that's the channel message I want to go deeper in here. I think that sentence is beautiful to think about, like the purest form of love you can have for someone. And of course, there are many, manifestations of love, the way you love your family, your friends. But in this case, I want to go deeper in the romantic sense of love. That sentence has been going on in my head a lot. And I also channeled, in that reading, I channeled All of Me by John Legend. So I associated both of them, saying that the purest form of love should be or can be to love someone, to love all of them, right? Or to be loved in the purest way will be for someone to love all of you. And yeah, it's been going on in my head lately a lot. And actually, a couple of months ago, around the eclipse season, the lunar eclipse, I did a reading there called A Love as Deep as the Ocean. Actually, I'm going to leave it here in the recommended readings in the description of each video. When I recommend another one of my readings, I'll leave the links over there in case that you want to watch them. So I'll leave the no contact reading, which was actually the last reading that I made. It's not so difficult to find. And A Love as Deep as the Ocean, which is my concept. That's probably the best reading I've made because it was really weird. It was perfect. We had counterparts, and the messages around the lunar eclipse were really particular too. So I'm gonna leave them both, but I want to go deep on the purest love. That's the center of this reading. So I'm gonna start with my French tarot deck. Actually, let me cleanse my space a little bit, just with Palo Santo. Remember that, while I do my cleansing, I always bring this to you in case that you're interested. I believe that purification or cleansing is something really important right now. We just went through the 1111 portal. 1111 can be a number that symbolizes union, right? But since we're approaching the holiday season, in the end of the year, I think that purification or cleansing is important for us. So in case that you are looking to cleanse your spaces, like you can use Palo Santo or white sage. I really recommend white sage because it can do a really deep cleansing, right? You can also use incense. There are many cleansing tools and many ways to cleanse. That depends on what you're looking to cleanse. Maybe if it's a tool, you can use water, like at sea or in a river, a lake, or like in your house too. With earth and fire, even can be used to cleanse or transmute things. I don't know why I'm channeling so much with the elements right now, but that's how it works. Channeling works that way too. But remember that purification can also do with the way you're thinking, with your thoughts, with your emotions, with what you eat, what you drink, right? So purification and cleansing can be, big topic, and it can have many ways to be interpreted. So I'm channeling a lot of cleansing while I'm, cleansing my space in my decks. But I believe it's important, especially again since we're approaching like the end of the year. So if there's something you need to maybe let go of or cleanse in your house, in your space, or in your mind, again, the way we think, the way we speak, the way we behave, go ahead with the cleansing you need to do on your own. Okay, just FYI. So I'm really happy. I don't know. The energy feels really happy and exciting. Maybe it's because we're approaching the holiday season. I haven't, set my Christmas tree yet, but I'm gonna do that in the upcoming weeks. I normally do it like before the end of the month, like my tree up and all the Christmas lights and stuff. But I don't like to do it so early either. It's just the way I do it. Um, but yeah, also because I really like to absorb somehow the energy of Samhain. I really like Halloween and all that. So I don't like to rush Christmas so much. But anyway, I don't know why I'm talking about this. I'm sorry. But yeah, the energy feels really happy and jolly, which is normal because we're approaching the holiday season. I'm gonna start right away. Sorry if my first 8 minutes are just talking. That's how we do it here too. I channel a lot of messages without the cards too, right? So let's go ahead and start. I'm gonna start with this one. I wanted to start with the French tarot, but for some reason I grabbed this one and I feel really connected to it right now, so I'm gonna do it this way. So let's talk about the purest love. Spirit, what do we need to know for the English community? What's up with this purest love? What do we need to know? We have the High Priestess in the reverse. This is a common message that we're getting lately. This is an invitation for us to work in our intuition. Remember that intuition in some cases can save our lives. So it's important to have it trained and to listen to it. This can also talk about settling good basis on a project. As an example, if you're working on a project. Do you see the two pillars over here? So these pillars are establishment and strength. That means that for us to build a house, or a building or whatever we're trying to build, we need to have good, solid underground basis. So the invitation of this is to build, let's think about a project, something you're working on, a goal, whatever. But maybe there's also, now that we're talking about love and the purest form of love, remember that it's important to listen to our intuition as well. People not always will show us what their intentions are. But remember that sooner or later everything comes to light. But when we are intuitive and creative beings in this department, we can see past illusions. So maybe this is an invitation to work on your intuition so you can see past the illusions regarding something. This can be anything, okay? Okay, we got the Hermit. Normally, I don't take as many bottom cards as much, but I saw it here, so I'm gonna take it. Since we're talking about intuition and spiritual awakening, maybe this is a part of the English community. I've been channeling for the last couple of months a lot of scenarios of spiritual awakening as a collective, because this is a collective reading, right? So maybe we're going through scenarios of awakening. Do you see the light in here? This can talk about spiritual awakening and enlightenment. Maybe we're going through times of reflection too, connect to ourselves spiritually somehow. If you feel like it's necessary, you can go back to yourself, find your own enlightenment. I think that's pretty much what I'm getting. For us to find the purest love, we need to find that love within ourselves. So maybe this is an invitation for us to go back and reflect, right? Okay. Oof. In my mind, I was gonna ask, what do we need to reflect about? And I was actually gonna say it to you, but then I split the deck and I got the Judgment card. Oh, by the way, this is Virgo energy, okay? Just a fire hi to all Virgos. But Judgment. Do you see here the divine forces, the 3D people underground, and they are watching you from above? This can talk about a judgment call. Maybe you or someone you're connecting with is going through judgment right now. A spiritual timeout, since we're going through reflection with the Hermit card. By the way, I really love that it's the fact that it's a woman. I mean, I really, really love to see a woman in that card, because normally the Handman and the Hermit cards are men. So I really love to see a woman over here. Just FYI. I'm getting the sentence spiritual timeout. Maybe you're going through a spiritual timeout with someone, because for us to experience the purest form of love, those connections, in case that you're thinking about a person you think is your twin flame or your soulmate or the one you're supposed to be with or whatever, this is an invitation to reflect about maybe your self-love, maybe focus on you, your connections, your priorities. Even if you're not in a connection with someone, or if you can't think of a person specifically, remember that everybody has their own timeline, right? So we can talk about like what's coming for you, or what's required for you to step into that frequency of the purest love, because that's what we're channeling here. Sorry, heal. uh, Maybe there's something about healing too. I'm channeling a lot of spiritual awakening and messages regarding healing, but let's talk about this. So Judgment, this is a collective reading, so take it if it resonates, but remember that in some cases the divine forces set us in these spiritual timeouts so we can reflect, so we can find our own answers. And in case of complicated decisions, choices in love, work, this is a general reading, but right now we're channeling love. Divine forces can set us in a timeout state so they can watch us from above, and basically they are trying to understand what you're going to do with that specific choice you need to make. This can be, again, anything. But remember that they don't judge you in a bad way. They are just judging you to understand what you will do with whatever choice you need to make. So my invitation is for you to work on your intuition so far. Trust in yourself, focus on you, focus on what you want, in case that you're thinking about, a love connection or whatever. And make the best choice for you, because in the end, everything is gonna be okay. Big message over here. Let's continue. So I want to go deeper on the French tarot too, but I'm gonna pick a couple of more cards from this deck. Spirit, what do we need to know? Oh my god. Oh my god. Sorry. I get really excited sometimes when I'm reading tarot. And again, this is part of the energy. Normally I'm gloomier and but tonight I'm feeling like really excited and happy. This can be again holiday season or whatever. So let's talk about the Empress. She's in the reverse, although she's a feminine energy. Remember, energy, not gender. A feminine energy who's in control of her four queens, the Queen of Swords, the Queen of Cups, Wands, and Pentacles. So this is someone who's really stable, who can be really successful and grounded. She's in the reverse, and there's something about control. This is a repeat message that I've been getting a lot lately for both communities, English and Spanish, but right now, for you specifically. Remember that we cannot control everything. And if you're thinking about a person, you can't control their actions. There's always free will, right? So if you're thinking about someone, the only thing you can do sometimes is just go back to what you can control: your thoughts, your actions, how you behave, your frequency. These actions and these thoughts that we go through every single day help us raise or lower our frequency. And what's the idea? To keep a higher frequency. That depends on you. I mean, this is general reading, I'm just saying. Maybe this is an invitation, a really hard invitation to let go of control. If we could control everything, many things will be, different in the world today, but they're not. So we can just go back and focus on what we can control. Let's talk about the Chariot. There's something that is stuck because the Chariot card, this is Cancer energy, high to all Cancers. This can talk about movement, but it's in the reverse, so it's stuck. There's a situation. 1818 Moon card. I saw it here. I don't know if you guys saw it in the video. I took a look at it, but I kind of ignored it. But in the timer, I saw 1818. So let's talk about the moon. This is Pisces energy, high to all Pisces. This can talk about seeing past the illusions. Do you see here the towers behind? So they are really similar, but they are not the same. So again, another invitation to see past the illusions. I'm channeling this specifically. This is a specific message. If it doesn't resonate for you, it's fine. But it's important to see things as they are and trust in our intuition, right? Work on our intuition, listen to it, and train it. So we can see as the illusions of love. All of us have fallen for illusions at some point, meeting someone who maybe you think is the love of your life, but in the end it doesn't work that way, it ends. So this can talk about that. It's important to see the actions, to see things as they are, so we can get past the illusions about something. I'm channeling love specifically, but this can be anything, okay? But yeah, there's a situation that is stuck. And maybe this spiritual timeout that we were talking about earlier, is required. This spiritual timeout and this judgment from the universe is required. So the situation that is stuck can be upright, can move and progress again. Let go of control. Basically, that's what we got so far. Okay. There's a really high connection to the moon, especially I'm channeling, remember, the next new moon for the water signs, because the next new moon will be in Scorpio. And we can work with, emotions and our intuition. Although Scorpio's energy is quite different. There's the death card. I moved it, but it was in the bottom of the deck, the death card. So there's maybe something about that. Something that needs to die. A mindset, a way of thinking, a connection, a job, right? Since we're middle, almost ending Scorpio season, which is, this kind of energy of letting things go and closing cycles. So that's maybe the invitation of this card. There's the World in the reverse and the Nine of Cups. Okay. Let's talk about this too. Sorry if my reading comes a little messy sometimes. It's just the energy too. There's something that requires closure that maybe we're not letting go. Trust your intuition, okay? Listen to it, because sometimes we want something so much. Now that we're talking about love, can be a person, like you want a specific person so much, but it's important to see things as they are. And if things are not ideal or better for your highest good, sometimes it's just a matter of letting go. I'm not saying it's easy, because it's not, but it's important, because the new things, or new experiences or people or jobs or whatever, cannot arrive if we haven't let go of the past. There's a wish fulfillment that is stuck. I'm getting a lot of reversals here. This can be you. Maybe you have a project, person who maybe is your wish fulfillment, or something that you want to do, that you love to do, that you haven't done yet. That is a wish fulfillment, but it's stuck. This can be someone else, like you're their wish fulfillment, right? Or there's something about you that is connected to a wish fulfillment somehow, but it's stuck. What can we do there? Remember, it's important to let go of control. We cannot control everything, it's a fact. So we need to let go of control and trust that whatever is for you will not pass you by. Okay? Whatever is meant for you, it has your name and your last name written all over it. So trust and connect to yourself so much that you attract it. Talking specifically to divine feminine energies or like out there who are listening to me, feminines or divine feminine energies, to take it as it resonates. But yeah, let go of control because whatever is for you has your first and last name written all over it. Okay, I'm gonna take one more, from this deck because I want to move to the French tarot deck because I haven't used it in a long, long time. So Spirit, what's up? What other messages can we get over here about this pure love? Temperance. Don't be so hard on yourself. That's another message about this card. I tend to focus a lot in the patience message. It's important to be patient with our manifestations because if we act from a frequency of anxiety over delays, these things can delay our manifestations even more. But the message that I'm getting here more than that is just don't be so hard on yourself. Maybe we're going through periods of isolation and need to be away from people, or maybe we feel like that people don't understand us somehow, that we're going through so much and people have no idea. But the invitation of this card is not to be so hard on yourself. This is a Sagittarius energy too, okay? Trust that you're being protected, that if you have a hard choice to make, it's your choice and you're going to be fine in the end too. Find your own enlightenment and focus on your intuition. Work on it, connect to it. Remember that intuition is a connection to your divine forces. And when I say divine forces, remember that this can be anything. Okay? Actually, I was having a conversation with my father. He's a Christian guy, and I really love him. But something we tend to disagree in is that he, recognizes Jesus Christ as, the only God. And I respect that. I mean, he's my father and I love him and I believe in Jesus too. But remember that when I say divine forces, this can be anything. Angels, your ancestors, God, the universe, divine, feminine, and masculine, energies, archetypes. So connect to those divine forces. And our intuition is a good source or a good way to connect to those divine forces, okay? Let's move on to the French tarot because I want to see the messages. That deck is so auspicious. Okay, I'm going to take this one. This is the bottom of the deck. This is the Six of Wands. This fire energy. It is Leo Sag. But this can talk about victory, which I love. I mean, even though we're going through periods of isolation, right? Maybe a judgment call, needs to work on our intuition and maybe be alone for a while. Maybe to let go of control or even close something that is, that is painful, but those endings are necessary too. At the end, there's going to be victory for you. You're going to come out victorious of whatever situation you're dealing with right now. So sending lots of love, okay, people? Let's move on to the French tarot because I'm so excited. Sorry if I see a little uncomfortable with these cards, it's because they are really big and I have a hard time shuffling them sometimes. But Spirit, what do we need to know? Indecision. Negotiations. I'm going to show it to you. Indecision. Negotiations. I don't speak French, so I'm not going to say the French words. I'm sorry. But this is the this is the Seven of Wands. The Seven of Wands can talk about, actually it's interesting because we got the Six of Wands and the Seven of Wands in here. Maybe there are scenarios of indecision. Now that earlier we were talking about with the Judgment call, the Judgment card. Indecision, maybe a hard decision that you need to make. You need to choose between many options, an example, or there's something about a really difficult decision that maybe you're putting off or you don't know what to do. Again, the advice here is to go back to yourself, work on your intuition, connect to it, and make the best choice for you. Because in the end, everything is going to be okay. But the Seven of Wands specifically can talk about it's important to be careful with people around you. Let's say that you're doing really well. You have a new job, or your business is going really well, or you're traveling everywhere. You're doing well for yourself, which is, the sign of the victory card. And if you're not there, this is what's coming for you. So trust, okay? But sometimes there are some people out there who want to see us do good, but never better than them. Be careful with those energies, okay? And also be careful with blocking your own manifestations, because the Seven of Wands energy can talk about that too. Sometimes we focus so much on manifestation, to bring things to reality, that we forget to prepare for those manifestations. So when they come, sometimes we block them. So be careful with that, okay? Let me give you an example, like in love. Maybe the purest love arrives to you. The person, your wish fulfillment, the person you want to spend the rest of your life with. There come intrusive thoughts making you think that this isn't real, that maybe you don't deserve it, or whatever, so you push it away. This is an example of how we block our manifestations. So be careful. Earlier we were talking about purification. Be careful with those patterns of thought or emotional side, or those things that are blocking our own manifestations. Let's continue with my beautiful French tarot. I love it. So Spirit, what's up? What do we need to know for this evening for the English community? I want to channel specifically the Purest Love. Okay. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, we got a lot of cups energy. This is the Six of Cups. Here it says the past and the future. And we also have the Four of Cups, boredom, and new acquaintances. Water energy, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. But let's talk about this one first. The Six of Cups can talk about past life soulmate connections. Maybe you're dealing with a soulmate or a twin flame, or multiple soulmates and a twin flame. Maybe I'm channeling maybe a soulmate and a twin flame. Take it as it resonates. But let's talk specifically about this. The past and the future. I read this somewhere. I don't know exactly where, but I did. That says anxiety is thinking too much about the past or about the future. It's important to stay grounded in the present moment, right? Sometimes we focus so much on things that maybe didn't work out for us, or what's coming, and the future is scary because there are so many things that are going wrong with the world, or in our lives maybe, that we forget to stay in the present. So this card is an invitation to stay where you are in the present. The Six of Cups can also talk about connecting to your inner child. Remember that even though we're grown-ups, all of us still have an inner child, right? Connect to that. And the coolest thing that we can do as grown-ups is become someone who, as a child, we maybe needed there for protection, like to protect us. So we grow up and become that person. So connect to your inner child, listen to their needs, forgive yourself for the things that happened in your childhood. If maybe there are, things that we need to, close, or basically forgive ourselves. There are many things that we maybe have hidden, insecurities, traumas, hard experiences. So go back to your inner child and hug them, and show them that you've become this, amazing adult who he or she would have loved to have when they were a child. Maybe also be patient with kids, just a fire. Every time I think about the inner child and stuff, I always get this message. Sometimes we as grown-ups expect children to behave as adults. Children are not adults, they are children, right? Be careful and be patient with them, especially when they have issues like at school, as an example. Be careful with your communication. This is a general PSA. We're in Mercury retrograde, right? So, be careful with communication. I'm channeling the message of children for some reason. We give them an order as if they were, I don't know, someone at work, like an email. Like it doesn't work that way. Just be patient with them. I don't have kids, and I send lots of love to people who do because I believe that being a parent is something really amazing and yet really hard too. And also for people who have, kids near you, like, your cousins, your nephews and nieces, your brothers, sisters, whatever. I'm telling you this because I have two younger brothers, and sometimes I'm really impatient with them. So, I lately I've been trying to work a lot in my communication with them because they are children and they are going through a society that is going like so fast that is crazy with technology and all that. Okay, but let's move on to the Four of Cups. I'm sorry. Let's talk about this. New acquaintances. Mm, Maybe there's someone around you that you don't know about. This is, for people who are, still searching for that purest love. Maybe there's someone around you, like an acquaintance, a neighbor, a friend, coworker, who has their eye on you. Take it as it resonates. The Four of Cups can talk about ignoring things from the divine. Has it happened to you that sometimes things are so out there for you, like right in front of your face, that you can not see them in the moment? Um, and when we don't see them in the moment, and because we're maybe focusing so much on the past and the future, as I was saying before, right? Um, that we forget that we have them there, or we just dismiss them somehow. So when they're gone, that's when we realize how important those things were. So before the universe says to you, I told you so, like, if you have someone or something that is a blessing for you, treat them that way and let them know that they are a blessing for you in case of people, okay? Or if it's, I don't know, work. Sometimes work can be really stressful and stuff, but it's important to treat it as a blessing. Sometimes it's hard, right? Sometimes it's hard because it's like, it's a job that maybe you don't like so much. I mean, it's what you got right now, and maybe there's something better coming for you, but it's important to be patient and to be grateful, to thank those blessings for being in your life. Again, people, jobs, whatever. Spirit, what's up with this? Oh, sorry, it's just these cards are really hard to manipulate sometimes. Um, do you say manipulate? In Spanish, we say manipular as a way to grab them and use them. I don't know if that's the same in English. I'm sorry if that's not the case. I'm thinking in Spanish. So, okay, Spirit, what's up with this purest love? What do we need to know? Another one. What messages can we get? Okay, got it. Okay, this is the Knight of Wands in the reverse, and there is disunion, departure. The Knight of Wands in the reverse is an energy who can be immature, right? Who can be really driven with, the sacral chakra and the root chakra, like the lower chakras, if you know what I mean. Um, so maybe this is someone you're dealing with or you dealt with in the past, like someone who was really interested in, surface level connections. But, that depends on you. I mean, on what you're searching for and what you like. And I'm not judging, this is a general reading. But maybe there's something that needs to close with a Knight of Wands in the reverse. Maybe again, this is someone who can be really driven with the lower chakras, and maybe you're not in that place anymore. This is a masculine energy, but energy, not gender. This can be a feminine too. Maybe there's separation, or that there definitely needs to be a closure with that energy. Remember that for closure, you don't need them to be in front of you telling them that you don't want anything to do with them. Closure can come through a letter, can come through an energetic intention too. So maybe there's something that you have done recently, or that you're working still on, or that you need to work on, because this is a general reading. Everybody's in a different place in this, closure thing. Um, there's also free will, right? If you choose to stay with this energy, means it's up to you. But if we take a look at this at an energetic level, seeing the Empress that we had before, remember that the Empress, or slash the Emperor, because if you're a masculine, you can take it as the Emperor. This is the master of the four kings or of the four queens, and this is a knight. Like in tarot, there's the page, there's the knight, the king or the queen, and the empress or the emperor. So energetically, this is not a match. This is a frequency mismatch. So take it as it resonates. Okay. I mean, there's also free will if you choose to stay with this person. If you choose to give them another shot, that's on you. This is just what I'm seeing with the cards. Let's talk about this one. This is the full card, the spiritual beginning in tarot. This can talk about a leap of faith, like jumping to start something new. It's important to have a childlike attitude. Let's think about children. Kids go through life surprised about, some things that we as grown-ups look at them and say, like, why are you so surprised, right? But they are learning from everything they see. They see new things and they are excited about life. So this is an invitation to have this attitude in life. But this can also go out on you beginning in love. Maybe after the judgment and spiritual awakening process that we're going through, a new love comes in, or a new job, or a new opportunity that will open for you. But it's important to take it with surprise. Allow yourself to be surprised. We as grown-ups are really stressed all the time because of the things that stress us as grown-ups. But kids don't live like that. Kids are not stressed all the time. So a childlike attitude in life. There will be a good compensation for you. I really love the art of this deck. I'm sorry. If I stay like looking at the card for so much, like staring at the card. But it's because the art is so beautiful. Every time I use this deck, I say it because do you see here like the blue and the green and the little dog and all the colors, and also the small details like with the lines and everything. I think I said this before in the reading. This deck is from around the 1800s. Before they used stencils. So they had a stencil for the blue, for the red, for the green, and all the colors. And they used to print it one, and then the other, and then the other. So it was a really ancient way to print these cards, which obviously today we don't have that. But it's so beautiful. This deck is amazing. It's probably the most powerful tool that I have to read the cards. And it was a gift from a friend. I love it. I think it's really beautiful too. I love these cards. So I want to take this one. This card comes every now and then. So there's love and there's desire, right? This is the Two of Cups. So you see the two cups in here, the snakes, and this can talk about harmony, divine alignment to come into a sacred union, right? The alignment of our feminine and masculine energy too. But this card, it's important to know the difference in the case of a connection, as an example, if it's love or if it's desire, because one thing is desire and a whole other thing is love. To get the purest love that we can get, remember that it starts with us, with self-love, but also talking about earlier with the training our intuition and listening to it, and be aware of our intuition. We can see past the illusions with the moon card. Remember the towers, they look really similar but they are not the same. So to see past the illusions regarding love and desire. Maybe this Knight of Wands was desire disguised as love. And maybe it's required for you to see past the illusions regarding that, you know, desire versus love thing. Maybe there's a conflict if you're thinking about multiple people, and I'm not judging, it's okay. Maybe you feel love for someone and desire for another one, but desire isn't love, right? And that depends what you're looking for. If you're looking to have a good time, not a long time, I mean, a night of once will be just fine for you, right? Um, but if you're looking for stability, like to have it all in a connection, so it's important to see past the illusions regarding maybe desire disguised as love. I want to close this reading, so I'm gonna take one last message. There we go. Okay, there's something about children. Do you see the word child in here? This is the Three of Pentacles. Noble. You know, this can be someone who's really noble. You are. It's important to, again, be patient with children and to connect to our inner child somehow. But the Three of Pentacles can talk about teamwork. This is a side message. We're channeling love, but these messages come up every now and then. The more you aligned to what you love to do, going back to the wish fulfillment that is not fulfilled, the Nine of Cups was in the reverse, right? So there's a wish fulfillment that is not fulfilled. This can be a project. And there's the Three of Pentacles. So the more you connect to what you love to do, this can be anything, you know, music, art, the profession you chose, whatever. The more you connect to what you love to do, the more you find yourself in the way and connect to people who love to do what you love to do too. So maybe this is an invitation for us to focus on our projects, on what we love to do. And maybe we're working on that already, like we're taking steps to materialize our goals, to start a new creative project. So keep doing that, because in that way you will get the new acquaintances that we were seeing over here, the new people around you who are connected to what you love to do, right? And to close this message, I believe that regarding this Knight of Wands in the reverse, and this is specific. So if you're thinking about giving them a chance, for many of you, and take it as it resonates, it's too late. Because it says here, too late. Remember that in certain connections or certain opportunities in life, there's sort of a timeline or a gap that the universe gives to certain people, situations, jobs, or whatever. And remember that not everyone is meant to walk beside us, right? So if you're thinking about giving this Knight of Wands a shot, maybe the universe is saying that it's too late. Take it as it resonates, okay? And do what you have to do. Let's close the reading with a prettier message, like a gift. Remember that we are approaching the holiday season, so maybe there are, there's a lot of gift giving over there. But do you see here the present? Un presente. Bueno, I'm saying this in Spanish because I don't speak French. Un present. I don't know if that's the way to say it. But remember that the present is a gift. So, for saying the present, talking about the card about the future and the past. The future is a construction we make every single day with the decisions we make in the present. And we cannot be looking back all the time, like to the past. We look back to forgive ourselves, to learn the lessons, and to thank the past for being there, because without our past, we wouldn't be here today. But treat the present as a gift. Every single day, you have the opportunity to make changes, to make better decisions for you or whatever. Or maybe there's something about a gift. Maybe someone is thinking about giving you something, like, gift giving is a love language. And in my case, I love gift giving. You don't have to say I love you like all the time, but if you give me things, I like love. Just FYI. So people, I'm gonna leave it here. Thank you so much for watching. At Always Worshipper, I like a comment, subscription. I really appreciate it and thank you so much. And I'll see you next time, okay, people? Sending lots of love. Bye.